What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kids Talk Sports podcast. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some MLB standings that I had to share with you. I'm going to be talking about where all 5 teams are placed in each of their divisions, talking about maybe why I think they're placed in that spot, who's underperforming, who's overperforming, and I'm going to be talking about who I think will win MVP from both sides, both divisions. And then I'm going to be talking about who I think maybe will make playoffs, who won't, and just a lot of just breaking down some teams in each division. So let's get into it. So first up, we'll start with the National League side of the MLB. So in the National League Central, the standings are the Cincinnati Reds in 5th place right now. I think aren't performing very bad. LA De La Cruz is having a great season for them. He's really stepping up. Their hitting has been solid. I think their downside is their pitching. Their fielding's been okay. Their fielding for the Reds never is really very good, but their hitting has been very, very solid. Elliot De Cruz again is hitting very well. I think he's got like 8 home runs right now, and of course he's got a lot of stolen bases. I think he's like leading the league. I think second place is like 15 or 10 behind him. So he's having a really, really good season, and on the defensive side. But if the Reds can get their pitching going a little bit, I think they could really climb up these standings. In 4th, we've got the Pirates, who've surprisingly been playing really well the past week or so. Hoskins has been great in his first 5 starts in the major leagues. He had, I think, 7-inning no-hit. He had a no-hitter through 7 innings with 9 strikeouts, I'm pretty sure. And they took him out, and the Pirates sold the no-hitter, but I think the Pirates are another team like the Reds who could jump up in the standings if they can just, because I think it's the opposite for the Pirates other than the Reds. The Pirates, their pitching's been great and their defense, but it's their hitting that hasn't been very well. So I think the Reds and the Pirates are those 2 teams that could jump from the bottom of the division to the top. Number 3, we've got the Cubs. They've been playing horrible the past week or so. They were on like a 9-game losing streak. They got swept by the Cardinals. They were in second place, basically a half game back from the Brewers, I think around 1 to 2 weeks ago. Now they're in 3rd place, 5.5 games back from the Brewers, and they're behind the Cardinals. The Cubs pitching hasn't been great, but it's been good enough. But it's their hitting that's just been really struggling. Like some guys like Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Christopher Morel, they've been slumping. They haven't been showing up. But the Cubs really need them to start hitting if they're gonna try to make a run for the playoffs this year. Number 2, got the Cardinals. They have been playing very, very well this past week or so. They're kind of like the opposite of the Cubs right now, but Cardinals played very, very well. Shout out to them. Everything's clicking for them. Then at number 1, we've got the Brewers, who I think are gonna easily win this division this year. It's just, they cannot be stopped. So we've got the Reds at number 5, the Pirates are at 4, the Cubs are at 3, the Cardinals are at 2, and the Brewers are at 1. Then we'll move on to the NL East, where we've got the Marlins at 5. The reason they're at 5 right now is because of their start to the season. They started the season horrible. I think it was, 0-12, I'm pretty sure. They started the season horrible. Number 4, we've got the Mets. They're just, nothing's clicking for the Mets, really. They haven't been good for a while now. Just nothing is going good for them. Surprisingly, we've got the Nationals at 3, who have been playing pretty solid. Lane Thomas is having a great year for the Nationals. I think he could be a really outstanding young player. So shout out to the Nationals for being in 3rd place there. But then the top 2, the Phillies and the Braves, they are standing alone from all these other teams. But the Braves are in 2nd. The Phillies are in 1st. The Braves are having a good season, not as good as last year, how they started. But man, the Phillies are I think 37 and 18 or something. Shout out to the Phillies. Everything is clicking for them. Bryce Harper's having a great year. Everyone's hitting very well. Their pitching's been great. Shout out to the Phillies because they are playing very, very well. So in the NL East, we've got the Marlins at 5, Mets at 4, Nationals at 3, Braves at 2, and Phillies at 1. I think this could be the year where the Phillies make their World Series run and maybe win it all. And then the last division in the National League, we've got the NL West. Number 5, we've got the Rockies. They're kind of like the Mets and the Marlins, where just nothing's clicking for them. Number 4, surprisingly, the Diamondbacks are all the way at number 4, which I think usually they should be swapped with the Giants right now, and the Diamondbacks should be in 2nd. The Giants should be in 4th. But Diamondbacks have really been disappointing this season. Not much is clicking for them. I think they have a really solid team. They're just really not putting it together this season. So I think they've been one of the most disappointing teams in the league this year. Number 3, we've got the Padres. Yu Darvish is having one of the best seasons he's ever had in his career. Padres just staying at that 500 average. I think they're gonna go on a run soon where they can just boost above that, have like a 5-game win streak, and get back up to that first and second place. Number 2, we've got the Giants. They have been one of the most surprising and overachieving teams this year. Like, I don't think Blake Snell's been pitching great. I don't think anyone expected the Giants to be in second. I usually expect them to be 4 or 5, or 4 or 3 usually, but I don't think anyone expected the Giants to be up at second, and then we got the Dodgers at first because they have the best roster in the entire MLB history I've ever seen. They're so stacked. I mean, I think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, but they are absolutely stacked. So again, in the NL West, we've got the Rockies at 5, the Diamondbacks at 4, Padres at 3, Giants at 2, and Dodgers at 1. And then, so that wraps up the NL. And for my National League MVP prediction, I've got Shohei Ohtani. I'm pretty sure he's got the highest he's got a top 5 batting. He's got a top 3 batting average in the league. He's top 3 in home runs. He's top 10 in RBIs, and I think he's got the best OPS in the league. So shout out to Shohei Ohtani. And then, so I think I have him as my NL MVP, and then I will say my AL MVP after we go over the AL standings. So let's start off in the AL Central for the American League. Number 5, we've got the White Sox. The White Sox are the worst team in the league. Like, just gonna say it right now. The Chicago White Sox are one of the worst teams I've ever watched play baseball. This year, they're one of the worst teams I've ever seen. They're probably as bad, if not worse, as the 2023 Oakland Athletics. Like, the White Sox, they can't do anything. They can't hit the ball. They can't pitch. They especially cannot field the ball. I'm sorry, White Sox. If any White Sox fans are listening to this, I'm sorry, but your team is absolutely horrible. Like, no one can do anything on that team. It's just really bad to watch, honestly. It's so bad. Like, nothing's clicking for them. They don't have anything, really. They got they don't have like that one outstanding star on their team that can hit the ball really well. They don't have a really solid fielder, and they don't have a really, like, one of those outstanding pitchers. So the White Sox, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to need some rookies to come from the minor leagues to step it up because it's not clicking for the White Sox. Number 4, we've got the Detroit Tigers. Tigers have always been around this 4 range. They're just really mid usually. Number 3, we've got the Twins, who've been playing pretty well. They're always in this 3 to 1 range. I think they could make a push to get to that 1 spot. Number 2, we've got the Royals. The Royals and the Giants, the Royals. So my top 3 overachieving teams this year, I've got the Royals at number 1. They have overachieved so much. I'm pretty sure they're 35-22 right now. They've been playing great. They're my number 1 overachieving team. Number 2, I've got the Giants. They're my second overachieving team. They've been playing really well. And then number 3, I've got the Washington Nationals because they're in 3rd place right now, playing very well. Those are my top 3 outstanding teams so far that were expected to do absolutely horrible because they do horrible every year. Number 2, we've got the Royals, and then at number 1, the Guardians I think the Guardians and the Phillies are tied for the best records in baseball. Shout out to the Guardians. They have been playing amazing. Their pitching is always great. That's been great. And their hitting has been really, really solid too. So shout out to the Guardians. So in the AL Central again, the White Sox are at number 5, the Tigers are at number 4, the Twins are at number 3, Royals are at number 2, and the Guardians at number 1. And then in the American League East, which I think is has been played the best out of any division so far, the Blue Jays are at number 5, which is honestly really disappointing because the Blue Jays, I had the Blue Jays in the World Series like last year because they have a really good roster too, but injuries are hurting them and just they can't put it together. Number 4, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays. They've also been really disappointing, but the AL East is probably the toughest division to play in, so I can get it when teams are a little struggling. But all these teams almost have a 500 record. If they're under 500, it's by 2 or 3 games. If they're over 500, it's by 2 or 3 games, or a lot like the Yankees. But the Rays and the Blue Jays have been kind of disappointing. The Red Sox are in 3rd right now. I do not know how they're in 3rd. They're the worst fielding team in the league. Sorry if you're a Red Sox fan. but they're by far the worst fielding team in the league. They've been horrible in the field. I'm pretty sure they have something really far in the negatives for outs above average. I don't know, but they've just been bad. The Orioles at number 2 and the Yankees at number 1. I'm really excited to see when it comes down to the final stretch of the season how those two teams battle and how who's going to win the division, because those two teams are very, very well-rounded and solid. So again, in the AL East, the Blue Jays are at 5, the Rays are at 4, Red Sox at 3, Orioles at 2, and Yankees at 1. And for the last division, we've got the AL West. At last place, this is just so sad. The Angels are in last place right now. And I just feel bad for Mike Trout, honestly, but it's because they lost Shohei Ohtani. But they were bad with him, and they're even worse without him. It's just sad to see that the Los Angeles Angels have a worse record than the Oakland Athletics. And the Oakland Athletics are horrible, I'll tell you that. They sent down one of their best players, who was their leadoff hitter, to the minor leagues, I'm pretty sure, for some rookie guy. I don't know. There's something weird there. I just don't know what the A's are thinking. They're just really bad. Number 3, you've got the Astros, who surprisingly, the Astros had a really bad start to the season. They were 7-19 or 7-20 at the start. They picked it up a little bit, but still, Astros got to step it up. Rangers are at number 2, and the Mariners, shout out to the Mariners, at number 1 right now. They're playing very, very well. I think the Rangers can make another run to the World Series this year. So again, to review the AL West, the Angels are at 5, the A's are at 4, the Astros are at 3, the Rangers are at 2, and the Mariners are at number 1. And for my AL MVP prediction, I'm gonna go with Aaron Judge. He's been hitting absolute tanks, hitting the ball hard. Shout out to Aaron Judge. Shout out to the Yankees, because their pitching is just devastatingly good right now. I think they have the best ERA in the league, and Garrett Cole's not even pitching for them right now. So shout out to the Yankees. And for this week's question of the week, it is, who is your favorite MLB team? Again, this week's question of the week is, who is your favorite MLB team? You can send in your answer to my email, and my email is talksportswithmason@gmail.com. Again, my email is talksportswithmason@gmail.com. As always, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.